Morning, everyone. I am on my way to... That car's telling me off that I'm not holding the steering wheel correctly. It's supposed to drive itself, but there you have it. I'm on my way over to have my physiotherapy on my arm. It normally takes about an hour or so, and I'm just driving there now, so I thought I would jump on. I'm not holding the camera, as you can see, so there's no legal issues, and I won't be looking directly at the camera because I prefer not to actually drive up the backside of this lorry in front of me. So I'll just keep the eyes on the road and have a little natter. So got back from Benidorm yesterday. Obviously today being Monday, I've got the video already edited, but I didn't want to clash with Paul's little video of the excuse me, of the little scooter thing that we went out in, which was quite a good laugh, to be fair. I had a really nice time in Benidorm. We was only there for 2 days. Stayed in a lovely little hotel. Can't remember the name of it because I am useless at things like that. But stayed in a lovely little hotel. It was sort of very in the middle of it all, but didn't hear a thing. Didn't get woke up with like drunk people and loads of noise and stuff like that. Literally in the room, it was like a time cap. It was sealed. It was really, really quiet. So it was lovely. Yeah, had a really nice stay there. Obviously met up with Paul and his family for Paul's birthday, which was really lovely. And then we had the little travel back yesterday. It's about an hour and 40 minutes, you know, not caning it down the road, which was a really, you know, should do this sort of thing more often. Not necessarily there, but we've got so many local little places to us within an hour and a half, 2 hours drive. I'm going to a place at the moment called Lorca. The hospital facilities there are absolutely fantastic. Now, if anyone is ever thinking about moving over to Spain, as long as you've got the correct paperwork and the correct visas and bits and bobs like that, which can be a bit of a minefield, to be fair, and I will touch on that as soon as I sort of find out, because when I came over to Spain, we done it prior to the Brexit deadline. And I'll touch on Brexit in a minute. I mean, I voted for Brexit. Had I have realised the type of Brexit we was going to get, obviously, I wouldn't have voted for it. So, but I'm not going to get into the political side of things. I'm just talking about the Spanish side of things. It has made it more difficult for people to move over. I'm sort of feeling quite a bit better today. I'm coughing a little bit, but that's the end tail of this this virus thing that I've had. But as long as you've got the correct paperwork, the medical side of things here, hospitals and care and stuff, is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, for me, it doesn't, you know, it's not too bad because we've got restaurants. So every single month we have to pay a thing called Autonomo, which comes out your bank, and basically that covers your pension, that covers your healthcare and stuff like that. It's not cheap, but the service you get is fantastic. There's no real wait list. If I have a problem with, I don't know, whatever, you need to go to the doctors for argument's sake, I just go down to a local little, it's a sort of doctor's stroke hospital in our town. Now when you go to a normal doctor's in the UK, generally they're excuse me, you know, you have to either book an appointment, and that can be sort of some time in advance. And generally there's maybe 2 or 3 doctors. This place it's like a hospital. It's like a A&E, but it's just full of doctors. So you go there first of all, and then if it needs to be done, they'll refer you on to the actual doctors in the hospitals, and then you get like the specialists. So the health service here really is second to none. When I first moved here, I had a very, very bad electric scooter accident. I've got a very, very powerful electric scooter. On average, when you see the ones going around the towns and stuff like that, they're 350 watts. The one I've got, I believe, is 6,000 watts. So you can imagine the speed of this monster of a machine that I've got. Anyway, I come off of it and had a very, very serious accident. Tore myself to pieces. Excuse the stuff in the back. I've just had to pick up some salt for the swimming pool and some pH reducer. You have to get the pH levels dead right. Luckily the machine that I've got does it all automatically on the swimming pool. I just have to buy the big tub every year to start it off. And it's just sliding about in the boot. So basically, going back to it, yeah, the healthcare here is fantastic. When I had this scooter accident, I was stitched up, and the aftercare was fantastic. Every 2 days I had to go back, and they very carefully removed the dressings. I mean, I had tears in my face, knees, feet, hands, elbows, stomach, you name it. I was in a real mess. I looked like the Mummy, if anyone's ever seen that film. I was so bandaged up. But anyway, the healthcare was fantastic. So a lot of people would say, oh, you know, we can't come out there because we're worried about the healthcare and stuff. As long as you've got the correct paperwork and you're registered in the system here, wherever visa you come over on, because you have nomad visas, you have non-lucrative visas, full visas, working visas. They did until recently do the golden visa, but that's obviously stopped now. You can get by, to be fair. And the healthcare is second to none. So never ever let healthcare be, you know, a reason not to make the move if that's what you choose to do. Like I say, excuse that thing, it's 25 litres in the boot of the car. So, like I say, if ever anyone's ever thinking about making that move to Spain, you've got to get a plan in place. If you can get your plan in place, then you can make it happen. Be realistic with your plan as well. At the end of the day, you know, it does take a little while. I would go and certainly make sure your visas are the first thing that you know, look into. How long that will take to get your visa, how long realistically it would take for you to maybe sell your house, your cars, things like that. You can bring your cars over. It is a little bit of a paperwork process to register them in Spain, but it can be done. The only problem you've got is obviously if you've got a right-hand drive car and you pull up at a multi-storey car park, for instance, when you go to get the ticket, you have to get out of the car and walk round to grab the ticket. But it can be done. So this is sort of just a quick, if someone wants to move to Spain, it can be done. It really can. There's a lot of people saying you're so lucky to be out of the UK and etc. for whatever reason that be. You know, I've not done anything, and thousands or hundreds of thousands of other Brits have not done things that nobody else can do. If you own a home and you've got some equity in your home, not necessarily, you know, mortgage paid off, but if you've got equity in your home, you can buy a property here an awful lot cheaper than you can buy in the UK. I've got a property here in Spain, although I did buy it cheap, and it was just a weird sort of system that we had when we bought it that ended up us buying it very, very cheap. But the property I've got in the UK, I would say, will probably be 4 times more. Sorry, the property I've got in Spain would be 4 times more had I bought it in the UK. But as a rule of thumb, you're probably looking about half price for the equivalent property, maybe even less than that. I spoke to Paul on his channel yesterday. I think the video went up today. You can buy a very nice 2-bedroom mid-terrace villa here. No swimming pool, but access to a communal pool. For about 65,000 euros in fairly decent condition. What's not to like? You know, I'm including the taxes in that as well. Your sun's always here, you know, the sun is always out, and you generally don't have your massive heating and electric bills that you would have in the UK. I've not turned, I mean, at the moment we've got fans on overnight, but literally just fans at the moment on overnight, no air conditioning, and that will probably be like that for about another 6 to 8 weeks. And then it will have to do a little bit of aircon to try and take the temperature out of the property. But you only need the aircon on for an hour before you go to bed. Then generally the fans suffice most of the night. I don't like using massive power things overnight. You know, I always worry about electrics and things like that. But if healthcare or the cost of, you know, buying a property and stuff are any factors in your decision that you wouldn't come to Spain and you want to come to Spain, it's well worth looking into. Obviously various areas. I'm in the Murcia region, which is Murcia, but we in Spain call it Murcia. I like the area. Obviously, will I stay here forever? I don't know. There's other regions of Spain that I really like as well. But for the foreseeable future, Carter's very happy at school here. We're very happy in the town that we live in. It's a very Spanish town. Not many English people there at all. But that's what we decided. We're not coastal. We're sort of set back quite a bit. Fantastic neighbours. And fantastic Spanish people. Where I was in boxing and stuff, I've met up with a lot of police. They all go to the boxing club and we get in the ring, we have a spar and stuff like that, and a few of them have become very, very good friends. I mean, I go out once a week at least with one of these officers, just go out for some food and bits and bobs, have a really, you know, coffee in the mornings, bit of breakfast, and I see them regularly, you know. Great people, absolutely fantastic people, and you know, couldn't wish for better friends. Totally accepted us being English and moving here, and like I say, we just get on great. He speaks half decent English, I speak crappy Spanish, but that's life. I'm trying, but like I say, I blame boxing for it. Too many punches to the head, not enough brain cells. But that's life. I'm trying with the Spanish, but I'm finding it very, very difficult. That's one thing. If you're got this sort of barrier of the Spanish, sometimes it's better to look in a British community, because there's a few pockets in Spain where there's an awful lot of British people. Alicante's fairly British. Murcia has pockets there. Mazaron is fairly British. Malaga is fairly British. Obviously Benidorm's fairly British. But you can choose that type of area if you're very worried about obviously speaking the lingo as well. Just a little insight, guys. I'm sort of pulling into the town now where I've got my therapy. I park up. I'm a little early. I've got about 40 minutes before they start working on my arm. I couldn't have the operation on my arm because I'd left it too long from the actual injury. So we're just going through a few weeks of therapy. So fingers crossed. At the end of that, they've said I'll be able to go back to boxing again. Whether that'll be the case or not, I don't know. I know I had this t-shirt on yesterday in Paul's video. It's not the same t-shirt. I've got 3 or 4 of them. I just find it easy to just chuck on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt when I'm going to, you know, day-to-day walking about. But thanks for joining me, guys. Like I say, you've made my drive a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. And I appreciate you coming along. Like I say, I'm going to touch on these videos in a, you know, more detail, because a lot of people do say, how do we do it and how do we find this cost of living, etc. Maybe we'll do a cost of living one as well. Let's schedule that for the next video. Shall we? A cost of living comparison, because I've just been funny enough, I've just been up to pay the car tax on the, you know, like the road tax, if you want to call it that, on the cars that we've got. So we'll do a comparison of fuel prices, food prices, electricity and stuff like that. That'll be the next video. But thanks for joining me, guys, and I will speak to you all soon. Have a great week.